What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of What's Next. Today we're going to be talking about the Shadow of War, potentially a sequel, which probably there won't be, but as always, spoilers. You have been warned. Okay, so I mean, Talion becomes a ring wraith at the end of the Shadow of War. And in the next, however long it takes you, for me, I spent probably like a few days on it. I did it pretty casually at first, and I went on the grind after that, defending 4 fortresses from the forces of Sauron. There's 10 things. But this is the last battle I had to do. But Talion becomes a ring wraith, basically, because he puts the Ring of Isildur on, but eventually Talion succumbs to the power of Sauron and turns into a ring wraith. And you can see this in you have a full video. It's uploaded now, but you see it, and if you really want to watch it, then you could see it there. And I do recommend it. It's a very do it after you beat the whole game, or watch it after you watch the full series, because it really is a satisfying ending. And I felt like it really did conclude on a good note. And I mean this pretty much just probably the best ending I've ever got to experience playing a game. It ends in a good way, so I do recommend you go see it. But really, it concludes. Ending Talion. In my it on that Talion will go hunt with the other ring wraiths. He'll go hunt Frodo and all them, and do all that kind of stuff. But it also states that he dies when destroyed, and he is killed finally, and he gets his own sense of freedom. So that makes me want to know there isn't going to be much to work off of his story anymore if he's dead. Really dead, and not just fake, spirit and wraith dead, because Celebrimbor is gone. He separated from Talion at the end of the game as well. And there's DLC that's going to be focusing on Blade of Galadriel, Altario, I think her name was. There's going to be DLC focusing on her and Idril. So there is going to be DLC focusing on that, but other than that, there's going to be any DLC about Talion. So that makes you want to think that the series they're going to be done with, that they're not going to play with anymore, or they're going to do something. They have to do something completely new. I mean, granted, they could also do something new with a few things that are familiar, like you could bring in old characters as the main characters, sort of deal. But yeah. Even at the end of the true ending, you see Celebrimbor, or not even Celebrimbor, you see a blue light shoot away from the eye when it collapsed, and then that leads me to believe that it is Celebrimbor who left the eye and was freed as well. So, if there is a new story, it's going to be a new enemy, I would think. I don't think they would add do another story on Sauron. Maybe but they could do something like what they did for like a minor enemy in the game where you have to deal with is all the Eternal. They could do something like that, do like a copycat, or kind of like someone who is like him, or do some villain like him that's dead. So I don't know what they would do with there. It's also possible that they could hop into the shoes of some other character to play as. Lothariel, we didn't see in the first game or second game. She was in the first. She was mentioned for one or two sentences once you return to Nirn or Nirnen, whatever region that is. But she is mentioned there, but that's about it. And I mean, it was clear that in the first game that her and Talion developed some sort of feelings for one another, but nothing came of it. And so I mean, I feel like she's a character that deserves some sort of impact or some sort of conclusion as well. I mean, Then they can also step into the shoes and this is something I liked a little bit more. Maybe Hirgen, who was also in the first game, wasn't even mentioned in the second game. Was not in the second game. Brandon basically went AWOL on the Black Gate before the attack happened, and he went to lead the Outcasts, and he married the Outcast Aaron. So maybe you could be playing as him and the Outcasts that are in Mordor and how they reacted, because they're not even mentioned in this game. So it leads me to believe what happened to them. Furthermore, I mean, you could also hop into the shoes depending on how the DLC goes, unless it's concluded in the DLC or if they're killed. Idril and Baranor, because they decided to stay in Mordor and fight, and still serving Gondor, still trying to save as many as they can. So it'll be cool to see how they use that into the DLC. If they survive the fate into, and their fate into Mordor. I mean, it is completely possible that they will die. I mean, granted, they aren't or don't appear in the trilogy. Assuming that they would survive, Baranor is definitely more capable, and Idril, they're both very capable warriors. I feel like Baranor or Idril, being faithful Gondorians, would be at the battle that was in the Return of the King, but it's assuming a little bit too much. But I mean, granted, this game has done very well with fitting the lore of the trilogies and making it all work and fit together. I mean, it tells you how the eye is created. It tells you basically that Talion becomes a ring wraith, and that's why he's not in the trilogy, in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So that they do play the lore really well. Some topics, maybe they could go, maybe switch sides in a sense. Maybe they could go towards more of an evil perspective on it. Like focus more on, maybe you could, I find this one very, but play as the ring wraith Talion, and you play as him hunting for Frodo in the ring. I mean, granted, I feel like it's a very good concept. You could play as finally an evil side. You get to live on the whole thing, and that way you get to still play with the character. Except, however, the way it has this game ending and the way this game was shaped and how it ended, it leads me to believe that it's very unlikely, because Talion finally gets a happy ending. In Shadow of Mordor, and in the first ending of this game, Talion doesn't get a good ending. In the Shadow of Mordor, it's very cliffhangery. In the Shadow of War, if I said War for the first time, I meant Mordor. I don't remember. But in this one, it's very left open. But the true ending really does give you a sense of conclusion, and I really do enjoy that. So that's good. But then, is it possible you can play from an orc's perspective? I mean, you see orcs like Zog have extreme amounts of power and control over other orcs and some sort of authority over them. So it'd be cool to maybe even explore playing as an orc. Maybe throwing it out there. I don't know. He appeared in both games, so he was brought back. So it leads me to believe that they brought him back for a reason. Did, in a sense, that he was part of one of the secondary storylines. But other than that, I can only think of something that's brand new. For me, I think the coolest thing would be explore something after the Lord of the Rings trilogy happened, because we don't get a lot of what happened after the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Eventually something bad is going to happen. Like, it's just and I feel like that gives free reign to literally just have as much fun as you want, because you create the story, do what you want, blow characters out of proportion, create your new characters, create your bad characters. You can do everything. You don't even have to deal with the past characters of the trilogy, but you get to mention them and maybe even sense some sort of conclusion for either of the characters. I mean, granted, the movies did that with the ending of the game, or ending of the movies, where they were like 40 minutes longer than it should have been. But it could expand on what great deeds that Aragorn did as king. Do what does Legolas and Frodo ever come back from the does anyone ever come back from Undying Land? Do the elves come back? They may have a rebirth. How does it Age of Man work out in the whole thing, because the Age of Elves was obviously failing, and that's why they left me on Dying Lands. But other than that, I can't possibly think of anything that would fit in this storyline. And personally, if I had to say, this brought a lot to the table. Shadow of War was pretty much what you could say is a stepping stone to this game, and it's great. Shadow of War was a lot shorter than this. This one is definitely so much better and so much more complete. Like, I feel that this game has a lot more, and I like that. And the ending, like I said, I can't say it enough. It has a very satisfying ending. I felt like I didn't need any more once this story ended and once it came to a close. And not do that. Not many games have ever done that for me. The only other game I can say that left it so I was fulfilled was The Witcher 3, and then I'm gonna arguably say that last wanting more to a point where I was unsatisfied because I wanted more than that cliffhanger. Witcher 3, I was done. I didn't want anything. I was good with everything. Same goes here, where I'm good with this ending. I don't want any more Battalion, and I don't need any more Battalion. So, in order for me to want a game, I would want a whole new thing. And granted, these are the guys that developed and I would say even perfected the Nemesis system to a point where it's phenomenal. I love the Nemesis system in this game. Features that they brought into the game, and other games and keep using. So that's another thing I'm really happy about. But other than that, I couldn't think of anything else that this game could need. But this brought so much to the table, and if there's gonna be a new game, it's kind of hard to see. I'll do a revisited version of this once the DLC is done and completed. But other than that, that's all I know. It's all I guess we know in a sense of what goes on, and they obviously haven't talked much about it considering this just came out. It came out about 2-3 weeks ago now. So who knows? What do you guys think the next Shadow of whatever it's gonna be? If it's gonna be the Shadow of War 2, or they're gonna make another game and actually do a trilogy? I mean, it is Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, or traditional things in threes. The Hobbit. It's what's gonna happen with the and what do you think what are your ideas of what the third game might be, if there is a third game? I want to know. Like, leave a comment below, and if you like this, please give it a like. If you have a suggestion of things I should do for what's next or an up and coming, please let me know. I'm gladly try my best to do them. These are my popular, so I definitely will try my hardest to do what I need to do. So if you like this video, please give it a like. I've already said that, and basically I'll see you guys around. I hope you enjoyed. Peace. And if you want more, please subscribe too. Forgot about the subscribe thing. Maybe I did say that. I'm not really sure at this point. And, fun little fact, probably one of the few attacks I've actually got on point, and it's my last defense I ever did. This is my last attack, and this is the first time I've never gotten my walls or perimeters breached. It was fucking awesome. But other than that, peace. I'll leave it here.